Victor Galligan, no kidding. Oh, you spoke too soon, my mom. Calm down, people. Hold on, I'm just going to check Bubba. You stay there, Bubba. And I'll just put this here, okay? So if you want to, you can just relax, okay? There you go. Bubba has been extra cuddly. Well, well, well. Give me a second. I'm thrilled to see you. Where'd I put my notes here? I got something for you, Victor, because I've been doing a lot of homework on finances. I'm doing tarot readings tonight, but I can't resist a little bit of temptation with the finances now that Victor's here. I don't really have a report for you, but I want to mention a couple things. Okay. Yeah, okay. Okay, I got that one. Yeah. Oh, this is fun, Victor. I found this one the other day. You might enjoy this one. It's on my X. You can go to TarotLumination.com. On my X, hold on, let me see if I can get this for you. It's hard to see it here. There's TarotLumination on X, and it's a little post I did yesterday or day before. It's a war. It's decentralized money. Lost it. Damn. Sorry, hold on. There it is. Decentralized. Donald Trump versus the Morgans, JP Morgan Chase. The U.S. White House versus Wall Street. U.S. Treasury versus the Fed. USDT, Tether, plus Bitcoin, plus gold. You start to see how we're going through this massive global convulsion. Okay? And I guess I didn't post it. I just got another one, which is a real juicy one. Oh, I guess I didn't post it. I might have lost it already. I've just been kind of studying what's going on at the deep foundations of the global financial system, and this war between fiat fake money and the desire to return to sound money. It is literally the biggest war on planet Earth right now. I know we have big problems with Ukraine, Russia, with Israel, Gaza, Palestine, China, America, China, the world, Venezuela, Nigeria. It's just a mess out there. But the big mess is this thing here. It's absolutely savage and brutal going on right now. Let me say hello, folks. Yes, it is actually a very pretty chart tonight. Look at that. I kept it simplified. Wherever you see those green lines, a lot of them, there are multiple green lines on top of green lines. So it's a really powerful alignment, and I just condensed it. That's all I did, okay? So I may be a bit rambly. I might be all over the place tonight. I just want to say hello to anybody before I do anything else. If anyone's out there just scrolling around watching, you just ended up stumbling here by accident, this is where we do my Sunday Night Live mini readings by donation. And the way you can do that is do not do super chat. If you're going to do it, go over here. Go to TarotLumination.com somewhere, like a phone, a tablet, a new tab or something, a new window or something, and go type in TarotLumination.com, and you can scroll down and make a donation right there. It's very, very simple, just like online shopping. Very simple. If you're a multimillionaire, make a sizable donation appropriately. The red X. Can I explain the red X? Yes. It's an intersection of war. Okay. It's an intersection. In some ways, any any really acute, tight, full opposition like this within just a few degrees, it can represent the best of things and the worst of things. It's usually, this is an opposition when it's very pure and it's tight like this. It's the same axis that you would refer to the Aries-Libra axis. The oppositions, you and the other, or the other and you. It's a relationship dynamic where it's 180 degrees apart and there's nowhere to hide. It's like, it would be like me, hold on, it's like, this is the dynamics of the opposition. Good evening and welcome. Okay, I'm staring right at you, not here, not there. I'm not talking to the floor. I'm not gesturing up to the ceiling. I'm not sort of, chatting out into the universe. I'm right here, okay? I'm right here, and you, conversely, are right there. I see you, you see me. We get it all. Eyes are the window to the soul and all of that. There's nowhere to hide. The opposition, the pure opposition, like those red lines, it's like a marriage. So if you can handle it, a marriage dynamic can be one of the most valuable, important, fulfilling aspects in life. They call it a relationship, but at that scale, they call it a marriage. And sometimes marriages are great, sometimes they're not. Frequently, marriages are very, very hard to endure for a long period of time because each party morphs, change, endures, and just has different life events at the personal level which can take you out of alignment from the original dynamic, which might have felt really good to begin. So marriages and pure oppositions are often, in my opinion, like a crucible, like a very, very powerful, strong container in which extremely powerful, highly volatile chemical reactions, psychological, emotional, physical reactions can occur, and it's contained, and then you have to live with that. So like, let's say I got married to you, or you got married to me, and we thought it was really, really great, and then you discovered later on, you discovered that I'm a two-timing dog cheater. And I have, I claim that I have a 60-hour work week, but I'm actually only working 40 hours. I bring in enough money to make it look like I'm a good spouse. But in fact, I have a mistress over here, and I'm doing despicable things, and it's costing me a lot of money, and it's creating headaches at home. And my spouse starts to go, honey, things aren't like what they used to be. And you can't hide from that, okay? It smells. So, like, if you've got a good marriage, it's one of the most valuable things you can have on earth. If you've got a marriage that sucks, and if you find out as you go along that it's not a good marriage, then it can be one of the worst things you've ever encountered in your life, because there's nowhere to hide. You see everything about them, they see everything about you. There's nowhere to hide. So it can trigger the worst of the worst. In other words, a war. In other words, like divorce. No. I am not a dumpy. I am the dumper. Nobody dumps me. I am dumping you. I am divorcing you. And then my spouse says, oh, hold on a minute. You got it all wrong because I've already filed papers. I'm divorcing you, and I'm taking the house, and I'm taking the money. And then I go absolutely berserk with rage, and it turns into a vicious war like on a classic Netflix soap opera. There you go. So that's the red line. So in this context over here, this is a very warlike dynamic right now, because on the world stage, America is glowing and blossoming as some potential, beacon of light and hope for the world. Some people see it very different. I have my own views, but you could also say that the United States, represented here, let's say Jupiter in Cancer, which is a big part of the United States astrology, the United States is at war with some of the elites and the powerful entities of this world, like all the tyrants and the monsters and the banksters, okay, and the drugsters and all of that crowd. It's war, 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 physical hot war, protecting personal interests, power, money, and control. And then we have this axis here, which is also a very warlike dynamic, but this is a very different warlike dynamic because it's to do with the global financial system. And in that war, it's a war between the banksters. I was reading a lot about this today for hours, like the original history behind the Federal Reserve, before the Federal Reserve in America, then the institutionalization of the Federal Reserve, the weaponization of banking and debt and currency debasement for the sole purpose of asset stripping wealth from you, the people. And it's worked extremely well since 1913. But the problem is people have figured it out that they don't like this system anymore. So there is a war going on, and the warring parties are basically fake money versus real money. It's a vicious war, and I will, if I can find it again, I will post that video because it was a pretty good video. One of the ones I liked better about the history of the Fed and the destructive impact of the Fed and so on. But that's on a global scale. But again, the issues going on here are global. Yeah, it's based around the Federal Reserve banking system, which was modeled on the Bank of England, but it affects the whole world because the whole world is sucked into this horrific marriage. And this is the physical expression. So in terms of like Russia, Ukraine, for example, Russia's economy is imploding. Ukraine is attracting more and more money. Okay, there's another thing. The asymmetric war between China and America. China is bleeding out financially, but it insists on continued warfare against America. It's a vicious, vicious war. Physical war, asymmetric warfare. These are physical wars. This is financial warfare. China is deeply involved in this. Russia is involved in this, and it's suffering from this, and so on and so on. So this is really, the beauty of the green stuff is absolutely fantastic, but it carries inside it some extreme challenges from which we can all learn a tremendous amount and hopefully evolve so that we don't perish. All right. Hold on. Let me. Oh my God! What? Hold on. I'm just trying to catch up with the chat so far. Oh, what's going on? So Teal for us no astrology peeps. What's in a square Sag? Of course, other. Oh, okay. What's in a square Sag and Taurus? Others. Okay. Well. All right, we got Sun in Sagittarius right now. There's not a lot of squaring going on. I mean, we've already gone through the hard square with the Sun. Well, okay, the hard square is going to be coming, okay, 29 degrees Neptune, 25 degrees Saturn over here in Pisces. So in a week or two, we're going to start to get a big fat red square over here. Okay. So that's pretty painful. Sagittarius versus Pisces. Might want to anticipate that. Okay, next, Victor, like my ex. Cheated on me a few days before we were married. Oh my God. Then you found out later. Kaboom. Yo. Only yes, personal readings via donation only. No super chat. Thank you, Necessary. Yeah, thank you, Necessary, very much. Link is here. Thank you again. God. Fuck. Oh my God. Yeah, lucky you found out real fast. Holy shit. That's not pretty. It's funny because a lot of marriages are based on raging hormones, you know. And it's very hard to control that stuff. Anyway, again, for anyone who wants a live mini reading, you can go over here. There you go, TarotLumination.com. Look at that, global astrology, personal astrology, and tarot reading. That's what we're doing here tonight. Of course, some of you are good old-fashioned regulars. Thank you very much. Oh, what's this, Lily? Lily Sag Girl. Uh-oh. There's a Lily Sag Girl. Hello, Lily Sag Girl. Hello, Ivona. Just checking in. Thank you. Yeah. Sag Girls. Sag Girls tend to be fun-loving and adventurous. There you go. At least in my experience. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, there we have it. I have not posted it on my X today, but I will. For people who have X, I love using my X as an archive. It's not perfect, but it's better than missing a lot of stuff that I study, because I can't really convey everything that I study in one little video, even though I do tend to do really long videos. Anyway, the one I posted today is very much about the relationships inside the Federal Reserve banking team, the original founding families, you know, the Rothschilds and so on, and the Morgans and everything, and how it was very, very carefully crafted to work in their favor at the expense of you, the people. And of course, we are witnessing that today at a spectacular scale. It's just pump and dump, pump and dump. They perpetually debase the currency, pump more currency out there into the world, boost the M2 global money supply, everybody rides the wave up, and then they trigger a crash. Uh-oh, shut it down, jack up interest rates, stop printing money, and then the global economy starts choking, everybody sells off, panic, 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 and the bankers just sit there going, ha, 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 watch that. Look at that one. Look at that one. Kaboom. Oh, look at them. They're screwed. Oh, look at that one. Blam, kerblash. Okay, we've done enough damage. Let's go in. Let's clean up. We're going to buy everything now at fire sale prices. And I'm sorry if you people are destroyed. You're just too dumb. So, have a good life. And then here we go up again. So we're going to get a lot of that in 2026. I reckon in the next few months we're going to see massive pumping. So be very, very careful that you don't get caught on the wrong side of the pump and dump. Necessary. What's that? I'm going to check the chat here. I'll send you PayPal to kick it off. We'll write question on PayPal for you, but question for the live. Advice, guidance for XYZ. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Oh, sure. We care not who rules. Whoever controls the money controls the country. Well, that's very, very true, and that is the Federal Reserve banking system. I've been reading a lot about the Genius Act. Be very, very, very careful. Remember, Donald Trump said, no CBDCs for the United States of America. None of that facial ID, digital ID tracker stuff. We're not going to have that financial prison. The Genius Act says so. But if you dive deep into it, what the Genius Act is doing is basically saying we're not going to have a federal Chinese-style CBDC. Instead, we're going to have a more flexible thing, which is going to be based on stablecoins. Stablecoins, it's the biggest thing in crypto right now, especially USDT Tether. And they are basically building out the infrastructure of the new version of the legacy system. So don't be fooled. It's going to look like crypto. It's going to be there like, oh, there it is. The clickety click, 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 click. There's all my digital world. It's not CBDC. No, it's not, because we're American. No, it's still going to be very similar to a CBDC. We're going to have a lot more protection than Europe or China, but it's still effectively centralized, controlled money. And ultimately, if they want to, they can switch off your money, control your they can track everything. Did you buy a bunch of ammo at the gun store today? They don't like that, if it's whoever they are. Did you send a huge donation to a Republican political action committee? That's not cool. We're going to track you, and if we have to, we're going to debank you. So none of that stuff is cool, but they can do all that with the new system that's starting to move forward. Now, USDT is really only for mostly for big operators, so a lot of the masses won't be too effective, but still, you got to prepare yourself. And guess what? There are people out there who are working very hard to provide the workaround, the alternative system. And Trump already announced it. He is considering, and they're drafting a bill in Congress now with Tim Burchett, drafting a bill, the elimination of the income tax. Just imagine that. Gone. Which is a big chunk of the IRS. You know, the IRS is still going to collect Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, state and city taxes probably. But some of that goes to the other places. But the federal stuff, I don't think they're going to switch that off yet. Social Security and Medicare and defense, because a lot of that goes into defense as well. So, but with Donald Trump, he's bringing in hundreds of billions of dollars through the trade tariffs and so on. And of course, that was part of his pledge. He just wants to get rid of the Fed and the IRS, like I do. But you got to have an alternative. We don't have that yet. We're building it out. It's going to take years, okay? Don't take anything from me. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a professional. Just do your own homework, okay? Yeah, but also whoever controls the food, whoever controls the water, whoever controls the skies. We've been getting a huge amount of nasty chemtrails here. Bad news. It was great for a while in the last few months, the last 6-8 months, but just recently it's got really bad again. And I wrote to the governor, I asked him, please, I wrote very nicely and professionally a letter describing why he has to switch off the chemtrails. Yeah. All right, let me have a look here. Hello, Fluffs. Yeah. Jeffrey. Oh my gosh, Jeffrey's here. All right, I'm going to clear this. I got to go check something. I got to do some housekeeping here on the channel while I'm going to get set up in the meantime for doing mini readings. Hold on, give me a second here. All right, so that goes over here. Oh, what am I doing? What am I doing? Sorry, I'm just clicking around in the background here. Okay. Maria as well. How come everybody's got new names? Maria, Fluffles, and Jeffrey. Greetings, old timers. Yeah. Yeah, happy Thanksgiving. I've had some fantastic turkey recently. All right, let me go over here. I need to clear the stage and then get ready to do some mini readings. So bear with me. I'm going to go over here and get set up. All right. Oh, boy. I'll keep this aside because we might need it during the readings. This goes over here, and then I'm going to put all these away. Oh, sorry, guys. Put that over here for now. Put this over here. Let's bring out a deck. I'm I'm going to use the golden tonight just for thrills. See, empty magic. No tricks. There's no tricks here. I didn't do any reversals, jumpers, none of that stuff. I just do very, very simple, very basic stuff. I use my own custom spreads. And a lot of you already know the routine here. In case anybody wants a mini reading, you know what to do. In the meantime, we've got a newbie here. Where is it? Who was that one? Where is that? Was it Lily somebody? Lily the Sag Girl. Yep. Yeah, this is, I try to do these by donation, okay? So it's honestly, I feel I provide great value. Yeah. I'm going to shuffle up the deck, explain it a little bit, okay? This is just a basic tarot deck. And I've been doing this for a long time. I've done thousands of readings and a lot of happy clients. Even if the messages are horrible. So, because people need to know what they need to know. A lot of people end up with a channel like mine because they're not getting what they really need from their psychotherapist or their girlfriend or their boyfriend, husband, or whoever it might be, their doctor, their psychiatrist, their financial advisor, their life coach, their yoga teacher. Something's not working, so they end up here and they get a mini reading. Yeah. Because over here we just kind of get in touch with the mystical wonders of the great beyond. I lean heavily on my invisible friends. Sometimes I take it all for granted, but they're basically here with me right now. And you have yours, so I invite you to bring yours over to share and enrich the experience. I also recommend that you imagine we're at a nice little community retreat somewhere. It's beautiful evening. You can hear the ocean waves splashing in the distance. And there's beautiful mountains in the background, and the sea smells beautiful mixed in with the trees and the plants. We got a beautiful fire going, and everybody brought their snacks and beverages. And it's just a really nice place and way to hang out. And sometimes these readings apply to others besides the person who's booking the reading. We get that a lot. And also, half the people here are already psychics or readers or healers in their own way themselves anyway. So we're just kind of amplifying the good stuff. All right. So this deck is I'm going to use my situational spread. I like to think of it in very neutral terms. Just think of it as a diagnostic tool. Imagine this is the black box that is used by your auto technician. When your car is flashing lights on the dashboard, you go in to the techie and he plugs in the black box because you're going, there's something wrong. You plug it in and he says, oh my God, it's your mass air sensor. You need a whole new mass air sensor. The computer says so. The cards say so. That's what it is. And if you didn't know what it was, you wouldn't be able to fix it. You know, what's the point in putting in a new transmission when you need a mass air sensor? Let's just hope you have a really good automobile tech mechanic. Yeah, I can do that. I'm just going to start a little mini list because there's only a few people here tonight. I'm very grateful, of course, and the tips are very, very, very important. The donations are very important. All right, so okay, so fluff. Well, I'm going to put necessary first, okay, because you. All right, there we go. I'll put Fluffles over here. So we'll put there. Okay, that's necessary tonight. I'll put Fluffles over here, and I see your notes on the screen. Okay, thanks, Fluffles. Okay, so I got that over here. I'll put that aside for the moment. So, Lily Sag Girl, you'll see what happens in a minute. I only use 3 spreads. I just use this one for like what we're doing now live tonight. It's very versatile. But if you want to do deep dive tarot and astrology, I use my own crucible spread and my own heart spread, which is completely different, dealing with different aspects. I don't know about how the moderator things work. Maybe there's a button or something. I can't remember. Maybe it's lucky I got such amazing guardian angels in the form of moderators. All right, so necessary. Did you put up any notes? I can't remember. Hold on, I'm going to scroll through the chat here, see if I can find if you put any notes. You said something was going slow and then I have to read the notes that you're sending me. Hold on. Give me a second here. Blah, blah, blah. Give me a second, okay, necessary? In case you don't want to reveal your notes. Thank you, Victor. Keep an eye out on my X, because I'm really doing a lot of deep diving into the money stuff. Okay. Alrighty. Yeah. Oh, my poor little computer. Don't worry. Oh, gosh, hold on. Okay. Gregory. Okay, I got a booking from Gregory. Thank you, Gregory. Oh, I see. That's probably to do with Love Triber as well, right? Okay. Yeah. All right. I think I see what's happening. All right, so I'm going to put those aside. Give me a second here. Blippy, bloopy, blippy, blip. All right. Okay. Sorry, folks. If there ends up being another reading, can I go third or last? We'll see. All right. Right now, this is what I got for now, and then we got this. And actually, I think, I'm not quite sure I understand, but I'm going to give Gregory one over there, because I know you got a lot going on in your world right now. And I'll put some of that the other one towards Love Triber. How about that? Okay, Gregory, if that makes sense. Don't worry, necessary. I know sometimes it takes time. Remember, Mercury is right on the cusp. It just flipped direct. So when it's on the cusp, going from direct to retrograde or retrograde to direct, there's usually a lot of turbulence. So I'm not taking it personally. I'm not stressed. I trust you. No big deal. All right? I can go back to the other deck. Don't worry. All right, so Fluffles. I don't see the notes because there's nothing coming through here. There seems to be some huge delays or something. Yeah, don't worry, necessary. So don't worry, Fluffles. Give me a second. I'm just doing housekeeping in the background here. I need to see if there's... Oh, man, what's going on? How come this... I gotta recycle things here. Sorry, I'm guessing there's huge amounts of traffic on the internet worldwide tonight. You see, the thing is that You have to remember that email was never designed to be instantaneous, like a text message. Email was been around for quite a long time, and now everybody's spoiled, and they think it's going to be, instantaneous. But it actually has to go through a mind-boggling series of events to get from A to B. So just please bear that in mind. I try to bear that in mind as best I can. All right, I'm just clicking away here. Okay, so here's now it's looking over on my end over here. Sorry, bear with me. All right, we're good. We're good. All right. We're good. It's already here. Okay, necessary, it's already here. I just got it moments ago. I was checking behind the scenes while I kept the stage open. All right, so without notes, I'm just going to go blind. But if you got some notes for me, please, necessary, dump them in the chat right now. Yeah, we're not there. You're going to be the last one, Fluffles, so it's going to be quite a while. Just hang in, okay? We'll scroll up later on. Yeah, I mean, just imagine, the millions and millions of transactions zooming through the internet right now just in America because of all the shoppers. I was at, hold on, give me a second. I need a break. So I was out doing some basic shopping at Walmart, and it was very busy. And I thought, well, I'll be okay. I'll just cruise through. And then I arrived at the checkout, and then bam, massive power outage. The whole store blacked out. Not just a bunch of lights or everything blacked out. It was very freakish. And it was weird because there's only a few emergency lights. And I thought, like everyone else, oh, it'll be on again in like 30 seconds or a minute. But it wasn't. So eventually, it turned into chaos, absolute chaos at the cash registers. So I thought, and then one of the sweet ladies came up to me and said, you know what, just take your stuff, put it over here, we're going to repackage it later on, and just please leave the store, there's nothing we can do. Can you imagine that? In the middle of your transaction, your money is stuck in digital limbo. God. All right, let's get back. Come on, we got readings to do. Okay. December the 9th. Obviously a critical day. Let me just check something on the 9th briefly, very quickly here. Okay. Well, so the moon's going to be in Leo, so that's very sweet and harmonious. It goes void at about midnight, so that's pretty nice. It's a Sagittarius sun and a Leo moon, so that's typically a very happy like alignment. Let me just double check something here. So we're over here right now. So the 9th is going to be Sagittarius is going to be over here, pretty much conjoined with Mars. Okay. So it could be very lively day. It could be, now with Mars, it could be very exciting, fun, adventurous, competitive, or it could be heated conversations, or it could be out and out conflict. But when you have the Leo moon over here, see the moon is here right now, but on the 9th, it's going to be over here. So that's going to be a nice fat green line over here. So my feeling is that even though it's fairly brief all day, it's going to bring harmony so that the sun working with Mars will be harmonious, more likely to be harmonious than confrontational. Let's just try to be optimistic, okay? I heard something about that. Oh my God, what a scam. Okay, that's it. Now, advice from the ninth. Okay, so Lily Sag girl, have a look if you're still here and you want to, invest. If you want to invest in some esoteric wisdom, I am ready, willing, and able to receive. TarotLumination.com. There you go. All right. So the cards are well shuffled. I'm using the golden deck, staying super optimistic. What messages do we have for necessary tonight regarding the ninth? Coming up pretty soon. All right, here's the situation. Here's the challenges. And here's how we're going to handle things going forward. And let's have a look at external events. I already gave a little preliminary overview from an astrology lens, just a very quick snapshot, but let's have a look here. Well, that's pretty sweet. Okay, Ten of Cups. It could indicate here that it's like, in some ways it kind of doesn't get better. Now, I don't want to overdo this and say it's all about like an orgy of happiness and love and romance and just everything working out in some kind of delicious orgasmic dream of something or other. What I'd like to do is temper this a little bit, because remember, we got that Saturn Neptune stuff going on in Pisces, and it's going to be much tighter at that time. What I'm suggesting here with the Ten of Cups is the energy of contentment. Okay? Let's take it, instead of happiness, let's treat it as contentment, okay? So, now, the reason I'm saying that is it's important. Okay, necessary, it's important because, again, it's something like you study and learn over time. I'm a pretty high mileage vehicle myself, and I've had plenty of experience at screwing up and finding out and learning things the hard way. And words are very, very powerful, and you can say to yourself, I really just want to be happy. And happy kind of indicates for most people like, ha, 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 I'm just happy all the time. And if I don't feel like that way all the time, then I need a substitute to make it artificially that way all the time. So maybe I'll drink too much caffeine or too much whiskey, or maybe I'll soak up some weed or something like that. Or maybe I'll do double doses of yoga or something to maintain that almost like artificial level of effervescent happiness. Hi, Bubba. Hold on. I got you, Bubba. There you go. See? There you are. You can hang out with us later, okay? And so what I'm trying to do is substitute content for happy. Because content it's like it's much more stable, it's more somber, it's very personal, it's private, it's internal. Like looking at me for right now, could you imagine just by staring at a person like myself, I am content. I'm content. Yeah, I know there's a horrific amount of horrible stuff going on in the world, and parts of me are completely tragically broken up. There's some little parts of my life which makes me feel ecstatically happy. In balance, though, I'd say, I'm content. I'm extremely fortunate. And then you get into the energy of gratitude rather than excitement or thrills or anything like that. So when I see that Ten of Cups for you, I am interpreting it as contentment. Now, contentment, I'm also ascribing it to being at a very deep soul level, okay? All right. It's an opportunity for content. Okay. I'm not going to indicate relationships, but this is very much about you, perhaps extended relationships. Family, friends, co-workers, invisible friends from the other side, pets, loved ones who've already passed away. Just keeping all of that deep, deep, deep in your heart and holding it and ascribing amazing value to the beauties and wonders of this life and not being too distracted by the horrors, okay? And understanding the energy of contentment. All right, here's the situation itself. Okay, so we have the Temperance card here, 14. I don't do numerology, but anyway, it's number 14. It's one of the major arcana. It's kind of a big deal card. And my feeling is that the situation is calling on you to look at your life and your world and understand you have reached a kind of a zenith point. You're at a zenith in life where it's okay to, here's a Sagittarius analogy. How about this? Let's do it the Sagittarian way. Let's say you've been on a series of epic journeys in your life to grow and expand and learn on this ever increasing pinnacle. Like as soon as you get to one plateau, you realize, my God, I can't believe I made it here alive. This is incredible. This is just a big wow moment for me. And you put your walking cane to the side, you got your backpack, you take off your backpack and your little camper tent, you bring out a bottle of beverages, and then you just sit on your mini camper chair and you look at the vast universe around you from 6, 8, 10,000 feet up. Feels really, really good. And you soak it all in, and then you turn around and you kind of go, oh, wait a minute. There's another mountain over there. Oh, okay. Well, we'll take care of that. Right now, it's important to be content. And while you're there, just imagine you're climbing Everest or something. You reach a base camp level and you need a few days, a period of time to acclimate to the new energies and new vibes. Remember, we just had a Scorpio new moon, which I translated into a very, like a parallel Sagittarius new moon, because it happened within a few hours of each other. And it's not technically, it's not Sagittarius, it's Scorpio. But anyway, so I'm interpreting a lot of Sagittarius energy into this new moon. So that's what I'm sensing here for you, is that right now it's understanding that you need to appreciate where you are in life at this moment. Like you have reached a zenith, a plateau of spectacular heights. And you need to take time out to soak it all in rather than just grinding ahead, pounding away to the next level, the next adventure, the next high. And just be there, heal yourself for a while. You know, like on big hikes, you have to accommodate with oxygen and so on, temperatures and so on. So it's like a time out. It's time out for self-healing and self-evaluation, self-appreciation, enjoying and looking at the world around you and seeing how well you have done. And yet understanding that the journey's not over. Okay. All right, so what's the challenges here? All right, let's have a look. Okay, so I've got the King of Pentacles here. My first impression, I hope you don't take this the wrong way necessary, but my first impression is that since I know that you are female, very a very noble, classic female, all the classic female feminine attributes, and you're a kind of a happy, optimistic, successful person in your own right. But there's a part of you which makes me feel like wouldn't it be so nice to have a mate or a companion that operates at your levels, at your frequency, like a match, you know? Someone with a high degree of competence, skills in the three-dimensional physical world, not someone who is like really, really sweet and nice, very lovey-dovey, romantic, but doesn't know shit about money, doesn't know how to take care of themselves. You don't want a pet. You don't want a basket case. You don't want to rescue anybody or anything like that. It would just be, wouldn't it be nice to have like a person of substance? But it's not necessarily there. Maybe there's something brewing in the background, but not necessarily there yet. So that's my interpretation, okay? So the other layer of the interpretation would be like, my gosh, ooh, yeah, I understand what TL's talking about, but I also wish I had expanded even greater capacities with understanding money and finance and wealth to the most advanced levels possible, so I could take my own journey to the next level and achieve full mastery. So I'm not a slave to a system or a slave to whatever it is that I don't understand or don't know. I would love to have full, absolute sovereignty and mastery. But it may not be on the calendar just now. Okay, so that could feel very frustrating for you. Let's see, how are we going to proceed? So, let's move. Okay, so I've got the Five of Pentacles. Do not be scared. My feeling is that it's very, very important to understand where you place your trust going forward in terms of relationship dynamics, especially if you consider yourself a good catch in terms of long-term relationships of value. Perhaps a relationship with money people, a relationship with money itself, a relationship with a money manager, a relationship with a mate or a partner. How does that work out with money? Understanding that money isn't really the issue itself, because it's all there, whether it's in a vault or it's safe or it's being managed, or whether you feel like, okay, it's being managed, but it's also at risk. I don't want to lose anything more than I've got already, obviously. But what that entails is making very, very, very certain going forward that you're not associating with, let's say, I hate to label people as cripples or people who are financially insolvent or people who don't know how to take care of themselves or never learned or don't want to take care of themselves in particular. Because sometimes I've seen this where successful, capable, loving women can be very attractive to aspiring gigolos. Sometimes aspiring gigolos can package themselves very well as what appears to be a suitable mate, but they turn out to be basically an opportunist who's trying to get a leg up, get a leg over, and a free ride to make their life better for themselves at your expense. Sometimes it works, especially if you're into complete role swapping. But you just have, either way, you have to be very, very, very careful in relationships going forward. It's not advisable. In other words, no matter how nice someone might appear going forward in life and world and everything, or relationships or dynamics or career going forward, be very careful. Make sure that other parties are, let's say, stable, financially secure, stable, physically healthy and secure and stable. Otherwise, you are effectively strapping yourself to the weakest link in the chain in your life going forward. Now, you might be a very charitable person, and that's fine, but there are some points in life where you really, really have to make sure that you are looking after number one, okay? And you don't give it all away or you know, just to be nice or to be liked. Not good. So in other words, contentment would be contingent on healthy, well-balanced relationships going forward, if relationships are an issue at all and you're concerned about that. But the most important thing is taking care of yourself, celebrating who you are and what you've got already, and then going forward, be extremely discerning. Okay? Alright, so there's your mini reading. I hope that made sense for you. Let's go over here for a second. Thank you, Necessary. I really appreciate the donation and everything. So I'm going to keep going. We're going to read for Gregory now. A little mini reading. See what happens there. Oh, you're talking about Chinese astrology now. Oh, yeah. I remember studying that. Uh-huh. All right. So anyway, let's, I've got to clear the decks a little bit here. Give me a second. Let's see if I can do this properly. No, sorry. I got all sorts of glitchy things going on here. I have to be careful. I can't risk glitching everywhere. Okay, so give me a second. Hold on. I gotta tidy up here. All right, Necessary. Thank you for that. I hope you got something out of it and it made sense for you on December 9th. Just keep it under your hat, you know. Maybe this reading will resonate more vividly near the time. We're going to move on to Gregory now. Thank you, Mr. Ross. Little Bubbakins here. I have a feeling is thirsty, so I'm going to have to allow for that. Let's see what's going on. So what's going on, Bubba? Sorry, I'm over in the back over here. Welcome. Give me a second. So while Bubba is making up his mind. Hello, Bubba. Hello, Bubba. Say hello to everybody. Meow, meow, meow. Meow, meow, meow. Bubba has been very cuddly lately. It's become quite a lot colder here. So I think part of it, he just wants heat. I'm just a warm body to him, you know. But also he's been very affectionate. Last night he decided to curl up right in my neck. And so his head was just sticking right next to my head, and I could hear him snoring. I could feel him dribbling in his sleep. And then I could also hear just plain easy breathing. Yeah. But he's been wanting lots and lots of cuddles today. Also, he's been a lot more adventurous lately. He's been very demanding about wanting to go outside into the yard, look around, explore. He loves to park himself in different parts of the yard and look at his kingdom. You have to remember, he was royalty about 2,000 years ago. In one of his past lives, he was actually an Egyptian royalty, like one of the royal cats. Highly, highly worshipped, highly revered, as one of the most important cats in the kingdom, the Egyptian world. So yes, he has royalty in his DNA. He's also stunningly handsome, considering he's he's over 19. He's almost 20 years old now. I try to feed him. I got him one of those soups. It looks like I have a feeling he's going to like it. I haven't tried it yet, but I think he will like it. It's a new idea. I'm going to definitely give it a shot. I think Bubba just wants cuddles, so I'm just going to do my reading like this. Oh, let's have a look. All right. So I know, Gregory, you've got some of your furry friends with you. Let's have a look. I'm just going to go over here. Maybe Bubba can just sit there calmly. Okay, you just sit there, all right, Bubba? If you need to move, let me know. If you need water, let me know. Yeah, his hair and his fur is really thick and silky. Uh-oh. Oh no, he wants to take over the whole freaking stage. Oh my gosh. Well, Bubba, that's really not an option. Oh boy. Yes, he is stunningly handsome. Maybe he will show off. Let me see if he'll do a bit of a showing off. Hold on. Look, Bubba. Look over there. Look over there, Bubba. Oh, now you're going all shy. What's the matter with you? What's the matter, Bubba? I know, you want to relax and just take over the whole show. Because you like to be a hog. You like to be the center of attention all the time. All the time. His coat is extremely rich and shiny, and so I think it really messes up the cameras and the lighting here. Oh, heat it up? Oh, okay. I like that idea. I'll give it a shot. It's worth a shot. All right, so here's what we're going to do. I don't have any spare water up here, Bubba. All right, Bubba, you can sit there. Just sit there, Bubba. I know you want to sniff the glue on the back of the Post-its. I know you love that. All right, so, let's see. Right now he's flashing his butt towards the camera, so I'm going to move on as best I can. Bubba is actually a little bit of a glue sniffer, I have to tell you. If you open up a little roll of Scotch tape or something, or if you're gluing a little wood project or something like that, or trying to package something using a rolling tape or duct tape or anything like that, he goes absolutely berserk. Yeah. Bubba, do you want this water? I can put this water over here. Hold on. Bubba, look. All right, you go over there. Oh boy, that's not going to work, is it? Oh, Bob, sorry, folks. Please bear with me. I know what he's trying to do. He's trying to take over the whole show. No, maybe he's going to go for the food. You can stay there if you want to, Bubba. But I got to get on with things, okay? All right, Bubba? Sorry, it's weird, like I have to ask permission from Bubba. Yeah, Bubba owns me. He basically owns me. I'm his butler. That's about it. It's my whole life, basically. Yeah. He loves it when I'm talking about him. He just loves it. He likes to park himself wherever the attention is until everybody pays attention to him and he becomes the center of attention. Frankly, I think he's just living off his looks. Oh boy. Oh yeah. What are you doing, Bubba? Hey, what are you trying to do? He's trying to mess around with the Post-it notes. You crazy animal. Oh, Bubba. All right, come here. Come on. You're trying to take over the whole freaking show for yourself. Because you want to be the center of attention all the time. I have to be very careful with pets. I've never really owned my own pet. I've always been let's say, a surrogate. There's all sorts of reasons why. 3 cats, wow. Okay. All right, Gregory, you're up. I know you're going through a lot right now. I don't know any of the details, but I can probably cobble a few things together, okay? Oh, the cats, Rhonda, Darla, and Spike. Excellent. Come on, Bubba, settle down. Get yourself nice and cozy. All right, folks, here we go. Gregory, are you ready? You know the routine. All right, maximum clarity, please, for Mr. Gregory Ross. Here's the situation. Here's the challenges. Here's how we're going to handle things going forward. And here's the external influences, whatever they may be. Remember, the planets are very extreme right now. There's a lot of benevolence. There's also tremendous challenges. Technically, he's not mine. No, he's... I inherited him. And he decided I needed to be his butler. And there's nothing I can do about it. Okay, let's have a look. So we have the 3 of Wands. Oh, this is kind of epic. What I'm sensing here, it is kind of epic. There's this sense of... I'm sensing 2 things here. New starts, new beginnings, built on the seeds of things that have already been planted at some different points in your life, where it's like the seeds of destiny coming to unfold, and you have an idea. You know what it's like? It's like waiting at a train station and you know that certain people are arriving, or you're in a train heading to somewhere, and you know that you are arriving and that people are awaiting you, okay? So, and the thing about it, there's a lot of stuff there's a lot of history involved here. The card of like destiny fulfilling itself involves a presumption that seeds have already been planted, for better or worse. Weeds or fruit, whatever it might be, and they are coming to fruition, again, for better or worse. That's perfect, Bubba. You just settle right there. Wonderful. All right, so I am choosing to convey the excitement here. Like, rather than like a heavy karmic influence coming through, my feeling is like a sense of liberation. Like, finally, we're going to get to where we need to be in this life, in this world. It's about time. All right, let's have a look at the situation itself. Now remember, this is not locked into, it's not like somebody is just totally rigged your life. It's more to do with watching destiny unfold and your place in destiny and how it unfolds, moment by moment by moment. It's destiny is coming towards you, whether you like it or know it or not. So then it's a question of like, okay, how am I going to respond to the inevitable? Not the inevitable, but the destiny that is coming my way from seeds that already have been planted over time. Let's have a look. Going forward, with the Five of Pentacles, that's interesting. It came up again. Similar theme in that going forward, it almost feels to me like the worst possible thing you could do is align yourself with a sinking ship. Something that's already leaking and is going to go down no matter what. It's very sad. And sometimes there's this energy of fake compassion or resentful compassion that goes with this, because a lot of times people are tied together by destiny for better or worse. There can be some very beautiful marriages, for example, where it all starts out great and then 10, 15 years later somebody has a horrific accident, and it sometimes feels like a curse, especially if you weren't planning that, if you were expecting a marriage to be always bountiful. But then you have to figure out, oh my God, what do we do now? Some people, in terms of marriages and relationships, they dump the other as soon as everything becomes inconvenient. But this looks like it's a much more serious bond, and it has serious implications. But it's also an indication that you don't necessarily have to comply with this bond. Let's just say that there's money at the center of the issues here, and it's very, very, let's say, the worst thing you could want to do is to squander this or waste this, but it might be that it's already wasted, sad, lost broken opportunities, and so on, where, there's like, it's, like damage is done. Things like for whatever reason, like a business that goes wrong, relationship that goes wrong, something that goes wrong financially in your material three-dimensional world, three-dimensional aspects. Houses, cars, credit cards, investments, business relationships, business agreements. Almost to the point where if there's an acknowledgement that there's only one thing here, and that's inevitable failure and loss, then sometimes it's better to do a write-off and just sadly and tragically write things off that are no longer viable. Because like what can happen in a war when a soldier has to carry another soldier. A healthy soldier has to carry a wounded soldier out of the hot battlefield, but the soldier is dying. They're going to die, and the soldier, the dying soldier, basically says, like, I'm not going to make it. You don't have to prove yourself. You don't have to be a hero. Drop me here. Drop me now. Let me go. I'll die in peace, and you can move on. So there's that scenario. But the worst thing is compassion with resentment. It's not acceptable. It's not healthy for you or the other. It's best to deal with the realities of the situation and cut the losses. Sometimes the best thing to do is literally cut the losses. Let's have a look. And then it can be very liberating, okay? Let's have a look. What are the challenges here? Accepting a whole new world accordingly. So with this destiny card here, and a sequence of events and situations as they are right now, it sets the stage for a whole new world unfolding around you. You're not in it yet because the destiny has not arrived. It is arriving. Part of the arrival is because of predestiny, where these are seeds that you have planted, but also seeds that have been planted in alignment with you over extended periods of time in life, and you're seeing the fruition, for better or worse. And if one of the seeds looks like this, and it leads to inevitable, profound, like a write-off, then you end up with this, and this can be very frightening. This is the ending of endings, but it's also the beginnings of the beginnings. In other words, what I would call a lifestyle package deal. I'm very familiar with this card at the personal level, okay, Gregory? So you don't have to be scared. It's not the end of everything. Here's why. Sorry, Bubba. Give me a second here. I'm going to keep cuddling you. Bubba is very, very happy right now, by the way. So, wondering about looking to close out of your business, okay, your mom, and wondering about dollars from your uncle. Okay, so, oh, Bubba, you don't have to stress. Don't worry, Bubba. Don't worry. Poor little Bubba. So, give me a second, Bubba. I'm sorry, give me a second, Gregory. When I'm looking at the world card for you, it's resonating strongly with me in my own life experience about what I call lifestyle package deals. For better or worse, I had to coin that phrase because I started to realize my life is unfolding like a series of lifestyle packages where you feel like you have everything. You have a relationship, you have shelter, you have an income, you have friends, you have family, you have location, you have ambitions, you have activities, and everything feels like that's your life. Until a new chapter of destiny comes your way, and it just flips everything over. And you realize, oh, another lifestyle package deal just ended. Which means it's time for a brand new lifestyle package deal. What does that look like? Well, in your situation, the ending of the ending of the ending indicates the beginning of the beginning, because they're going to go right back and start all over again. But it's new circumstances, new destiny, new environment, okay? Based on acknowledging things that didn't or don't work in the past. So what do you do now going forward? That can be very frightening for people. That's why some people are terrified of the world card, because it means like, oh, it's the end. I've lived my life. It's done. It's over. Oh, it's a movie. No, it's not. It's just another lifestyle package deal. That's my interpretation. But they can be very scary, okay? Okay, worried about dollars from your uncle. Well, you might be very worried. There may not be anything to harvest because everything may have been squandered, lost, locked up in such a way that's irretrievable. Just going back here again, okay? Let's have a look. Proceeding. Let's have a look. How are we going to proceed? Sorry, I'm not changing cards. I'm actually using that same card. Okay. So 3 of Cups. So with the 3 of Cups going forward, I think it's very, very, very important to focus on what you could call the future rather than the present or the past. Because if the present is heavily stained with a lot of, let's say, things that are not viable or that have come to fruition in a way that are not worthy or valid or valuable, to the point where you've reached the laws of diminishing returns. Think of the law of diminishing returns. The more and more you put in, the less and less you get out. It's not a good place to be. And if you sense that's what's happening, then it has to be faced. And then moving forward, this is another 3. So there's the 3 of Wands. Destiny's coming your way. Seeds planted. Going forward, planting seeds of destiny based on much simpler parameters. Instead of like years of conditioning and circumstance and lifestyle package deals from the past, let's deal with the present and go forward. Let's accept that the past is done and it's over. How are we going to wrap it up? How are we going to rationalize the wrapping up of the past so that you can go forward and move forward in life in a much simpler, happier way, being with your own kind, doing things that work for you, with you, in a way that's mutually beneficial. Okay, it might not be anything to do with this. So what I'm sensing going forward is open yourself up to a brand new lifestyle package deal that you may or may not understand at this point, or maybe you've got the seeds already to plant, or maybe they're already planted but you're not aware, and so you need to just like nurture abundance and happiness, and well, not happiness, but let's just go back to the word content again, okay, going forward. Come on, little card, let's get a real good focus here. Sorry. I don't want you to get dizzy. Okay, focus on what works, what makes you feel happy at the very depths of your soul. Simple, simple, simple. It's almost like allow your heart and soul to do the decision making for you so that you're not immersed in low frequency, three-dimensional aspects. You're more focused on love, the healing power of love. Nurturing yourself, allowing yourself to be nurtured by others, being with your own kind, celebrating accordingly, and allow a whole new lifestyle package deal to unfold, whatever that looks like in detail. Maybe there's no details yet, okay? All right. All right, so Gregory, I hope you got some good feedback out of this. At least throwing a new perspective that you may not have considered. All righty. Okay. All right, I'm going to clear this deck. Hi, Bubba. Hello, Bubba. I'm going to switch decks. I'm going to clean this one out, shuffle up later. Oh my God. That's the first time that has ever happened to me. I dropped my phone. All right, Fluffles, you're up. I can see your notes. I haven't read them yet because I'm trying to sort out the new deck, okay? Gotta make sure I got everything. Yep, we're good. All right. In some ways, it's very inconvenient to have little Bubba here. He's sitting with me like he's just, I think he's really just enjoying being part of this process. I don't think he knows what it means, but he knows it's very important. There's lots of lights and microphones and screens and monitors and staging and visuals and stuff, okay? Sorry, I'm in a very awkward sitting position, but that's okay. Bubba, I believe, is really, he's just really enjoying being a part of this. Right, Bubba? Yeah. Oops. Sorry. Oops, I can't afford to drop those. Sorry, Bubba. I didn't mean to. Gregory, by the way, that reading made me feel that it's a very dense reading. It made me feel like it's very dense. You might need to rewind it again and soak up the feeling of it rather than the precise nature of my words, and allow your invisible friends to guide you and reinterpret as necessary, because it felt to me like a very dense reading with a lot of like hidden meaning that I don't feel I could fully convey in the short time that we have. Okay, Fluffles, we're looking good. I can see your notes. I'll come back in a minute. You might have noticed that the reading was not very conclusive. It's not like, here's what you're going to do about your mother. Here's what you're going to do about the other thing about money. It wasn't like that at all. Because I started from a different... I had already started the reading before those extra notes came in. All right, so Fluffles, we are shuffled and ready to go. I need a little sip of water. This will be the last reading of the evening. I won't be able to take any more. Thank you, Bubba. I really appreciate it. All right, so actually I'm going to move over here a little bit. Okay. All right, now let me just, I have to now scroll back and look through your notes there, Fluffles. Give me a second. Just give me a second. I'm trying to do a lot of things with only one hand here. Let's have a look. Okay, it says here, my question is about work. The next 90 days are extremely important for my business, and I want to know if I'm going to be successful. Okay, how will that look for me? Can we please use the other day? Okay, so how about this? Let me reframe the question. Let's see, I don't know what if okay, I have to interpret that in myself. The next 90 days are critical, okay? I'm going to say critical because that emphasizes the importance, and it tends to focus the brain, the body, the mind, the heart, and soul, okay? So what's that going to look like? How's business looking? I'm going to keep it super simple. How's it going to look? Given the understanding. In other words, I'm going to rephrase it. How is it going to look given the understanding that we're going through a point of critical mass over the next 3 months? That's the way to phrase it. Okay, here we go. Here we go. You ready, Bubba? Almost. All right. Here's the situation. Here's the challenges. Here's how we're going to handle things going forward. And let's have a look at external influences. Of course, I'm going to defer to the astrology, but we're going to add a tarot personal touch on top of that. Let's have a look. So we've got the Two of Wands here. Okay, this is very important, okay, Fluffles? This is let's just have a look, okay? This is the Two of Wands. It's very, very important regarding this reading that you have to understand, like, in my interpretation, every second counts going forward, because we're dealing with time. You've set a timestamp, 90 days. So we're talking about Saturn. Saturn is in Pisces right now. Okay. And hold on. Oh, Bubba's going so dopey. So Saturn is there. So we have to take account that every thought, word, deed, action has consequences. In other words, be aware that you may be in the flow or an opportunity field that is very benevolent right now. In other words, look at my chart and see all the green lines. But you also have to understand that at the core of that beautiful geometry are two very, very tight oppositions, which can spontaneously turn into very difficult situations and make it feel like an opportunity could be scuttled. So it's very important to focus on the relationship dynamics and make sure that they are very healthy throughout. Otherwise, however much opportunity is available, it could easily be scuttled from just one wrong word at the wrong place, to the wrong time, to the wrong person, for the wrong reason. Remember, Mercury is just flipping direct, so that should be beneficial. Let's have a look. All right, so this is a card of destiny, planting seeds of destiny, okay? Fluffles, understanding that you've already done a lot of planting of seeds of destiny here. For those seeds to blossom in a way that's benevolent and good for you, it has to be mutually satisfactory. Those red lines indicate a requirement for mutually beneficial relationships, okay? It cannot be a one-way exploitive relationship. It has to be mutually beneficial. It has to work for you and for the other parties in a way that you're like, wow, I'm so glad I met you. And the other party says, wow, I'm so glad I met you. Okay? So, let's have a look at the situation itself. Okay, so I've got the Five of Wands here. My feeling is you're going to be in the thick of it. You're going to have to be acutely aware at all times, like an athlete. Okay? You probably are not going to have a lot of time to rest and relaxation in terms of, let's say, navigating through these next 90 days. I'm not going to do a full astrology thing here. I'm just doing a mini tarot reading. But the next 90 days are going to really, really keep you on your toes. Expect the unexpected, number one. Number two, be prepared for anything. Number three, assume the win. Number four, keep going even if you feel like things are turning against you, because the show is not over. Think like an athlete. Think like a very high performance, successful, capable athlete who is in yet another athletically demanding situation. You have to rise to the occasion using every faculty that you have. Okay, now what are the challenges here? Okay, you have to be extremely careful that you don't try to impose your belief system on others. Simultaneously, you have to be very careful that you do not allow others to superimpose their belief systems and conditions on top of you. Neither is acceptable. It's very important to achieve mutually beneficial situations. In other words, if you're convinced that certain blah, blah, blah is right, but the other party does not believe that, then it's not going to work. Vice versa, same thing. If they're convinced that it has to be this way, but you don't, it's not going to work. So you have to keep going, like maybe it's negotiating, renegotiating, fine-tuning, to get it right so that it's mutually beneficial. Otherwise, it'll all come to nothing. I just want to do a brief little side note here. A brief side note. I was studying the Constitution the other day. Okay? It's one document. You can read it in about 20 minutes or something. I'm a very slow reader. And it's very, very profound. But in my studies, I found that pretty much every single word in that document was hashed and rehashed and rehashed and refined until they got it exactly the way they wanted it. These, the five originators of the Constitution were very thorough, and they were always calling each other out if they felt that there was something weak or ambiguous. That had to be removed so that you could have maximum clarity. So it's the same thing for yourself here. It has to be mutually beneficial, and it has to be understood that it has to be almost like divinely ordained. All right, Bobo. So this is not good. This is not bad. It's just that you have to be very, very alert to the dynamics that's going on between yourself and the other parties in this business. You're not allowed to let yourself be hoodwinked in order to gain favor. You're not allowed to hoodwink them because you could. None of that. It has to be like a very, very high level of integrity if there's any contracts or agreements and so on, okay? Now, how do you move forward with this? Because it's a pretty demanding situation. Okay, so I've got the 8 of Swords here. Keep going, but you're really going to have to trust your intuition. You're going to have to pray. You're going to have to trust your intuition every day, understanding that you're going into a situation where you do not know all the parameters of the day's business. You could go into a meeting with someone, and then the phone rings and something completely, abstract comes in, and it throws everything sideways for a loop. Okay? Like a car skidding off a road by accident, or a car hitting a pothole by accident. Like, oh, obviously nobody intended that, nobody wants that, but things happen. There might be time constraints. There might be cultural restraints. There might be legal contractual restraints of some kind. It doesn't mean it's the end of business. It just means all these issues have to be understood and realized, and it's sort of like a maze. You're going to have to get through it. Partly, a lot of it is trusting on your intuition from previous years of success, and trusting your own intuition going forward, knowing that not only is the environment stimulating, exciting, potentially rewarding, and potentially very challenging, but at every moment of the journey, you are planting seeds towards fruitful outcomes. And in that journey forward to fruitful outcomes, you're going to inevitably encounter things that you could not have anticipated, and you're going to have to deal with them on the fly, trusting that you can handle it. You just simply have to trust and believe. In other words, go back to this one where I was saying you have to assume the win. You have to know that you're going to win before you even go in the room. And if you know that there's challenges that could obstruct that, you have to know that before you go into the room as well. You can't have it win, 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 win all day, every day. So it's very, very good to understand, I don't want to call it the battlefield. Let's just call it the environment. Understanding the environment and living in the moment, knowing you're going to have to figure out things live in the moment, real time, face to face. No matter how much preparation, you can't go in and have a deal situation already locked up before you go in the room. The results are going to occur by living very much in three-dimensional real time at the highest levels of your capacity that are possible, at the highest levels of integrity, okay? Potentially very challenging environment, but also potentially very rewarding, okay? So I hope that makes sense for you, Fluffles. Let's go back over here. Whew. Wow. I hope that made sense. You know, if you have to, rewind it and watch it again later. Hold on, I've got a bunch of new stuff coming in. I can't. Give me a second. What am I missing here? There's all sorts of stuff that I've lost. Gosh, I'm looking at all sorts of stuff in the chat. It's a little bit beyond me. Huh. Wow, thanks, Jody. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of a big deal. Yeah, you're right. These are very important. These next 90 days are very important to you. So you can handle it. I'm sure you can handle it. All right. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to wrap it up here really quickly. And I got to take care of His Majesty. Bubba, I really, really appreciate you here tonight. He's been lending his little heart and soul, staying very, very close to me, demanding that he stays very close to me. There's always a good reason. Thank you for your kind donations, everybody. Thank you, Gregory. Thank you, Fluffles. Thank you, Necessary. And for all the newbies here, now you see how it works. Maybe next time, just come prepared. Take care, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'm going to try and do more and more and more as much as I can. It's just, I'm kind of up to my eyeballs with things at the moment. All right. Take care. Bye-bye. Good night. Say good night, Bubba. There he is. Oops, no, he doesn't want to move. Okay. All right. Bye-bye.